Greetings people of YouTube, and today I'm incredibly excited to be bringing you all my review for the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime. I have been waiting for this figure for quite a while now. Didn't think I'd get it this early, but I did, and I'm really happy about that. Now I'm sure you all know about our beloved Optimus Prime. However, this particular version of Optimus Prime was a younger and a more inexperienced take on the character, as he's trying to prove himself as a capable Autobot leader, at least from what I've heard. Haven't actually seen Transformers animated, but it looks really cool and I really want to know where I can watch it. If you guys do know, please leave it in the comments below. Yeah, this figure does look to be a pretty neat stylization of that original animated design. And taking a nice close look at the packaging here, you can see an artwork of his truck mode, Optimus Prime himself. On this side, you can see a really nice artwork of animated Optimus Prime in his robot mode, and look at them Giga Chad lips. Anyways, at the back, you can see some nice product shots. On this side, you get one half of the Legacy United poster. I really want that Magmatron. At the top, you get the Legacy United title card. And at the bottom is, so I cannot contain my excitement any further, and why don't we just crack this thing open? Here's the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime out of his packaging. And I gotta say, I'm slightly disappointed. I mean, he looks really cool. I have no problem with his design at all. Oh my. Yeah, that, and along with a couple of other joint issues, really makes this figure not as fun as I wanted it to be. But hey ho, I still think it's a pretty cool looking figure. And one cool thing about this figure would have to be his accessory. Optimus Prime comes with his axe, and that's it. That's okay. I really don't know what kind of other accessory they could put in with this figure. This axe is enough for me. And it does look pretty good for the most part. Absolutely love the transparent glue they used here. Really mimics the show model a lot. Only thing I don't like about this axe is how bloated this part of the handle is. But that is because of this feature, because this axe is more than meets the Ladies, you can make him hold his axe like this, and that looks really cool. Or you can extend this axe, position his hand into here, and now if you position his arms correctly, you can make him double hand the axe. Oh, this looks incredibly imposing. I love it. Not really that many poses you can get him while he's double handing his axe. However, this axe is blast effect compatible. You can see a 5mm port in the back there. And if you plug in some type of blast or flame effect, it'll look really cool. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been cool if it come with a blast effect part, but yeah. I mean, this siren thingy was packed in separately, but I can't find a clear integration in the robot mode other than just attaching it to the back, so I really don't like counting this as an accessory. And if you see this port here, that's a weapon storage. Yeah, that's a really cool form of weapon storage. So yeah, that was his one accessory. Pretty good, right? Well, I would have to say that his details also look pretty good. And comparing Optimus Prime here to this render of animated Optimus Prime, I think they managed to strike a perfect balance between being accurate to animated and giving it its own style. Only thing this figure is missing would just be the somewhat more dynamic shaping of those animated designs, but other than that, yeah, this figure pretty much nailed it. Even though, if I have to be honest, I think he looks a bit too bubbly. He is a bit more chunky than usual, and that does cause for a little bit of problem, but we'll get to that when we get to posing him. Case in point, this head sculpt. Like I said, it's just a bit chunkier than usual, especially around this bottom chin area. It does definitely resemble animated Optimus Prime, so I really can't complain about that. It looks pretty good. Doesn't have his mouth guard, but that is the iconic animated look, so I have zero problem with that. Then as we take a look along the rest of his body, you can see what I mean by staying true to the animated design while tweaking the proportions and stylizing it just a little bit. One thing that I'm not a fan of though would be the arms, which just looks like this whole side cap of a truck stretched along the y-axis. It looks quite awkward, and I'm genuinely not a fan of this. I mean, couldn't they have just flipped out this panel here and flip it around to make it blue or something? I mean, this looks like the whole side cap of a truck, I'm not kidding. At least the inside of the forearm is blue, which is reminiscent to the animated design, and yeah, that's cool. Another thing is that I feel his chest is a bit stubby when you compare it to the original design. To me, it is really only noticeable when you compare it side by side. But then we come to the legs, and this is my biggest problem with the design in general. So, as you can see, each leg has a wheel on its side, and that means that you cannot close it together properly, making putting him in a vanilla pose quite a challenge. Well, not much of a challenge. We're doing this again. Loose ass knees. I don't know why they designed it so that they put the pin on the back of the calves when it really should have been here. It would have looked better and would have been tighter, I think. But at least that problem is fixable. This is not. Okay, so I do have a bit of a grudge against this figure, don't I? No, I actually don't. I do think this figure is pretty cool. However, when we get to his posability... Ball joint at the head that has a pretty good range, actually. Shoulders can rotate 360, and that's quite tight. I actually don't like that. Can move out that far. That's the perfect amount of tightness to me. Bicep swivel, which again is a bit too tight. Double jointed elbows that bend in all the way, which is mostly due to the transformation. And if you look at it from the side, that's just a side up cap of a truck. It's really not that big of a deal, just a minor nitpick. But if you look closely on mine's left forearm, that's a paint chipping. Lovely. Wrists can swivel 360. Waist rotation, that is quite tight again. That's not. You know what? For the waist, it's actually fine. Can kick forward that far, a bit more than that. You can do the splits, thigh rotation, stupid knee. Finally, for the ankles, you get a pivot, and if you detach it for the transformation, it can move down and up. Freaking loose though. Tighten it up with a super glue and you'll be okay. Posability for this guy is fine in theory, but in practice I just find there to be some limiting aspects to it, and he is sorely missing a butterfly joint. I don't think you can get anywhere near as cool of double axe poses as that Gamer Edition Optimus Prime figure looks so good. I want to pose it a lot, but I can't because the posability is a bit limiting for some reason. Or maybe it's just that I'm not creative enough in my poses. That's probably the case, isn't it? What's also the case is that next up we'll be looking at his size comparison. Here's Optimus Prime next to the Transformers Kingdom Beast Wars Megatron. If you're wondering why I compared these two with each other, well, they share the same voice actor, David K.
That would be the easy way out, Megatron.
I unleash the storm of vengeance! Farewell!
He did a fantastic job as both of these guys. Comparing him to a G1 style Megatron, here's the Earthrise Megatron, which would not stand straight. Comparing him to a regular 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Mr. Knight. And finally, the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. In my opinion, this figure is just a lot more fun to play with. Not to say this guy is bad, it's just that this guy has a lot more posability that I can use. And with that butterfly joint, just makes getting him into axe poses way easier. Still though, I gotta say these two look kinda cool next to each other. However, one thing I gotta say I prefer in this figure over the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime figure would be his transformation, because oh boy, this is an absolute pleasure. And after such a satisfying transformation process, here we have animated Optimus Prime in his truck mode, and I gotta say, I absolutely love this truck mode. This might even be my favorite part of the figure. It's just so compact and has a really nice shape to it. And it's almost dead on to the animated design. I love it from every angle. The front, the back, the top, the bottom even looks okay. I am absolutely infatuated with this truck mode. I mean, just look at the front there. It looks so nice. So accurate to the animated look. One glaring inaccurate detail is that there are two front wheels here, but that's just due to keep balance in truck mode, and yeah, it's not a big deal at all. Rolls incredibly well too. Oh, it's so good. And one nice little detail that I should point out, because a lot of you will most likely miss it. If you open up the front cab of the truck and take a peek inside, you'll see some truck interior details, and that just looks so nice. Even has a little steering wheel, adorable. Just don't look inside the truck. And not only does the front look good, but the trailer doesn't look too shabby either. No obvious glaring feet from the back. I mean, there are some glaring feet from above, but it's not really as distracting to me as opposed to if they were to put this on the back of the figure. The only thing I dislike about this truck mode, weapon storage. What? But this kind of weapon storage for the trailer of a truck is not the worst. You can always make pretend that the truck is carrying something, and that's not the worst really. Still not great, but I'm able to forgive it. I really don't know what else to say, so why don't we just get straight into his size comparisons. Here's Optimus Prime next to David K. Megatron, Frank Welker Megatron, Mr. Knight, and finally, the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime. Not gonna lie, in vehicle mode, I do much prefer this figure over this figure. Not to say that this figure is bad, it's just that... yeah. And to further emphasize my point to you about his posability, why don't we just do the good old strike a pose segment. Alright, first let's try double-handed axe running pose. Yeah. Just doesn't Okay, I ain't gonna lie, that looks pretty awesome. So I guess it is posable, just takes some effort and... Alright, let's do a slightly more low-key one and do an axe over the shoulder pose. Okay, this does look pretty awesome. That's probably how I'll display him. And now for the finale, let's do a axe swing above the head pose. Then we add in a flame effect for extra measure. Can't deny this looks pretty darn awesome. And so that concludes my review on the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime. You know, overall, I still do really like this figure quite a bit. He looks great standing there, he looks great in poses, but getting him into those poses just isn't that much fun to me. I actually wanted this guy more than Windblade, and I gotta say I like Windblade more now. He's just much more pleasant to pose, much more pleasant to handle, but that doesn't mean this figure is bad. Great sculpting, good paint apps, and a really fun to do transformation resulting in a really cool alt mode. If you are a fan of Transformers Animated, I gotta say I highly recommend this figure, but only if you're okay with the stylization of it. Or maybe if you just like Optimus Prime in general, I do recommend this figure. And of course, as always, I hope you all would recommend my review to everyone else. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And hopefully I will see you all next time. So after taking a look at two official figures, taking a look at another knockoff seems
Most logical.